So today's Pilates workout, we'll start off with just a warm up to loosen things up with the foam roller, and then we'll be working with a wall. So you want wall space as well as a mat to set yourself up. So we will start just with a chest opening routine on the foam roller with your hips close to the front of the mat, and lay yourselves out on your back. And take a moment to settle the whole body down. The beauty of the foam roller is it allows the shoulders to drape and the whole spinal column to be dropped in, and then kind of the rest of the body to shape itself around. So take a moment and check and see your own body weight. You want to be sure that the sacrum is nicely grounded, maybe even your tailbone, and your ribs are nicely grounded and the shoulders relaxed. Turn the palms down, have a little bit of length with them so the shoulders are dragging down, and hopefully you can feel your shoulder blades on either side of the foam roller. Take a moment to bring the chin in a little bit and roll your head to the right. Just let it fall, and take a moment here really allowing the neck to start to decompress and lengthen. And as my head is turned to the right, my left hand, I'm stretching it towards my left ankle to get an extra opening in there. Stay here, take a breath in, and on the out breath, see if you can relax and let your chest open and your head roll a little bit further. So really opening up the side of the neck. Roll your head back to the top. Drop your face to the left. You just want to roll like a wheel rolling on the road. Let it get nice and heavy. Just start to feel the shape you're in, and check that your chest is still facing the ceiling. You haven't pulled yourself off in some funny direction. And slowly lengthen the right hand towards the ankle to get an extra traction. Keep the shoulders open. Now take a breath in. And on the out breath, let the head go a little bit further over. So you're stretching and opening up the side of the neck and maybe the shoulders. Roll your head back to the top. Relax the shoulders down. Now we'll do the same thing, but the elbows are down. When the elbows are down, the shoulders are a little bit longer. See if you can lengthen with the elbows down. Feel where the shoulders are. Relax the ribs. Sometimes they will naturally get tight. You want them just easy. Now just for a moment, extend the fingers, but keep the shoulders wide. Bend the elbows. Extend the fingers. Bend the elbows. Extend and bend. And again, drop your head to the right. See if you can go a little bit further. Your elbows are relaxed. Check that the shoulders are nice and wide. Check that the ribs are relaxing down. See if you can get more of your spine. Just relaxing into the foam roller, not tightening. That's tightening, just relaxing. Keep yourself nice and open. Go a little further if you can. Come back up. Other direction, let the head drop. Let it go nice and long. Check that the shoulders are still wide. Head is nice and heavy. Open the chest, relax the ribs, relax everything. Falling to the left. And come back up. Bring the arms to the ceiling and lift and lower the shoulder blades. So as you do this, see how relaxed you can be. At the beginning, people tend to push and tighten the muscles. So very soft muscles, nice easy movement, just up and down, allowing everything to release. And then reach the arms over the head. First movement, just let the arms go. Let the ribs do whatever they want to do and reach with them. Then bring the arms up and let the hands come down and relax the shoulders. So everything's relaxed here. So just back and forth a few times. First, just loosening up, just feeling what's happening, what's tight in your body. Where do you feel the pull? You may or may not get the arms to the floor. My shoulders are very loose by this time because I've worked on them, but a lot of people don't get to the floor. It doesn't matter that you get to the floor, it matters that you get a nice stretch and an opening. So keep on going, and this time pause opposite the shoulders. Let the shoulders relax to the floor, and now as you go back, keep the shoulders wide and see if you can avoid this movement. Just let the shoulders open out. So you want to feel where the stretches in the side ribs and in the armpits and even in the arm bones. So can you lengthen the tissue there even more? And then come down. And we'll do this again. Arms to the ceiling. Shoulders soft, long arms, and taking the arms over, feeling this nice openness. Feeling the collarbones wide, the ribs are still resting into the foam roller, and then maybe you're opening a little bit more now, I don't know. And down one more time like this, lifting, relaxing the shoulders, and taking the arms over. And just feeling where the tightness is, and can you isolate into the side ribs and the armpits and the arms. Now stay here and just lengthen a little bit more. And then pull. Now we get into the trunk and the powerhouse a little bit. So we pull that area down in order to activate it and see if you can lengthen even more. Lengthen and reach. You can use your feet to help push a little bit more. Keep that beautiful length and see if your arms get to the floor now. It doesn't matter if they get there or not. It's just a fun curiosity to check into where your body's at. Bring the arms to the ceiling and take the arms out to the side. Bring them up. So we'll go back and forth like this a few times. Just opening and closing, starting to feel the sensation. If you can, you keep your shoulder blades on the sides of the foam roller, not crunching in towards each other. If they're crunching in, it means your front of your chest is tight, and we want to see if we can find it. So better to come to here and have a front chest stretch than to here and kind of miss the stretch. Now, relax the shoulders, pull the waist in and firm the belly a bit, and then come out and reach away. Reach away and take the arms down. Keep holding those ribs and waist down. Lift the hands shoulder height, and now pull the fingers towards the floor. Keep the chest open. Pull the fingers up. Keep the chest open. Back and forth a few times. Back and forth and back and forth. We're just loosening up this tissue. As you do this movement, turn your head and check. Is your wrist in line with your shoulder? Because usually people have their hands all over the place and they think they're in line with the shoulders. It can often feel much lower than you think it is. I'm sorry, the hands would need to be lower than you think shoulder height is. Bring the hands up, bring the hands down to the floor, and turn the hands out. So in this position, let's relax the elbows. Slide the hands out. We're doing angel arms and bring them over your head. Real nice way to start to stretch out the ribs. Here, use your feet to press and lengthen. So I'm pushing from my feet towards my hands to get the spine longer. Bring the hands down. So back and forth now, loosening up the tissue in the front of the chest. Just as a note, if you are super, super tight, you can do all of this on the floor, not on a foam roller, because the tissue will open better with support. So finding the level and layer that works for you is very useful. Nice and long and nice and back. Very good. Arms to the ceiling, elbows to the mat. So in this position, drop the hands back and drop the hands forward. So now again, we're lubricating and stimulating the shoulder joints. Loosening them up. And again, it doesn't matter if you don't get to the floor, just that you get a nice stretch in the tissue. Because really you're starting to lengthen the fascia out. So if you push muscularly, you're actually denying the opportunity of your tissue to open. You're bypassing it and you're creating more tightness. If you hang out where you're tight and do the movement like a rag doll, much, much more effective. Now pause here. Keep that chest nice and open and slide your hands out to a Y and back to a W. So back and forth, feeling this movement. Just a few more times. And then bring the hands back down. And now lift your right arm and lift your left knee. So you're balancing just in this position. Extend your right arm and your left leg away and back. So now we're starting to have to balance on this foam roller, and we want to be sure that we're activating the central balance of the trunk. The less you will, you can have your elbow, wrist, and fingers of the left hand on the floor. If you want it harder, you lift the elbow off. If you want it harder, you lift the wrist off. If you want it even harder, you make sure the hand is close to the body rather than out in a diagonal, because then the most balance is being asked. And of course, super hard, I haven't done it, is no hand. So here we go. These are the stages. This is easy. This is the next one, hands on the floor, and harder is here. So now left hand up and right knee up. And back and forth. Of course, you're striving to have as easy a time as possible with the movement. So you're basically looking not to have wobbles. And that takes a lot of challenge right in your trunk. And some of it's not your mind that's doing it. It's your nervous system is trying to figure out how to keep you from falling. That's really the goal, that you get to a point where your body's very intelligent and it has good reflexes. And then put the foot down and roll off. And let's bring the foam roller sideways under the bra line. And bring your hands behind your head, and we'll just work a little bit of trunk work. So notice I'm pressing my ribs down and tucking my tail a bit and curling forward, and then lengthening out and opening the chest. So we get in, curling, and out, lengthen. It's more important to get length and then open the chest. It's not that, that's an arc. Curl in. So you want to find that place where you're lengthening the abdominals and opening out. And curl. And open. And curl. And open. And curl. So all we're doing is we're starting to warm the body up, stretch the fascia a little bit, get the tissue mobilized. Now come to a long flat position. So we're not arched, but we're long, and the foam roller is right in that stiff part where the back is getting tight. And actually, let's just do that small lubrication right in there. This is where we kind of get humpy and stuck. So we're softening and stimulating this area. Bring the hips back down. And now roll. Keep both hips on the mat, but roll to one side. Back. Roll to the other side. Back. Roll to the first side. Back. Roll to the other side. Back. to the first side and back and roll to the other side and back. Roll yourselves forward and down, and now lift. Put the foam roller under your feet, so your feet are a little bit away and your feet are on. Keep the foam roller steady and lift up. So this forces the glutes and the hamstrings to start to work, and roll down. And again, press into the foam roller. Keep it nice and steady. And roll down. And again, rolling up. And rolling down. And rolling up. And rolling down. And rolling up. And rolling down. 2 more times. Lifting up and rolling down. Last one. Pressing into the feet and lifting up and rolling down. Bring the foam roller closer. Hike your hips up and bring the knees up. So now the foam roller should be nicely cradled on the sacrum. The knees are together, and let the knees come in a little bit, so they're gently resting. Rib cage is dropping down, and just rock from left to right. So we're massaging the SI joint right where the pelvis and the sacrum kind of end. Should feel kind of nice and gentle. And then pause and just do small circles. I'm on the right side, so I'm on a little bit of a diagonal. So I'm massaging this area. And then roll to the other side. And again, circling around. Come back to the middle. Make sure you're on the sacrum. Now this is going to be interesting. Your tail is tucked up. And now your tail is going down. So you use the legs as a little bit of a lever to help manipulate that very low part, the sacrum, into the tailbone and move it. It can get very stuck. One more time like this. Then bring one knee in. You can hold your knee so it secures this length in the low back, and slowly bring the other foot to the floor. We're looking to get a nice stretch in the hip flexor. So just hold it. If you're nice and long here, you can stretch the leg out straight. I'm very tight, so this is my limit. And just hold that position. You want to feel, take a moment, let the tissue lengthen. And if you can, keep the low back long. What often happens, people get the legs straight, but the low back has gone into an arch. We want it nice and long, hence pulling this foot in to keep it there, so we get this traction into this area. Bring the leg back in, and bring the other leg down. And again, look for that stretch. It'll be a stretch in the quad. Some people can go out longer. That's a deeper stretch for me, but I'm going to stay here at the more gentle stretch. Bring the legs in and roll your bottom down. Now we'll come up and come against a wall. So let's find a wall. I'm going to adjust my camera. And very good. So standing, you want your back against the wall and your feet out. So you have this nice length. And first of all, we're just going to be rolling down to the floor. I've got my heels together, my toes together, and just drop your head and shoulders. In this position, really scoop and lift your belly up. So you're kind of stretching the navel in direction of the wall. Check that your sacrum and tail is on the wall. Start peeling off the wall and rolling down. We're looking to stretch our whole back out and round it. So opening up between each vertebra and lengthening it. Come either to the floor, just off the floor, and draw 3 little circles here. Reverse your circles and roll yourself back up and see if you can peel yourself into the wall. Make sure your tail and sacrum are still touching. Some people can be so scoopy that they do a pelvic tuck and they don't get the spine long. So you want the tail into the wall, and then the ribs against the wall, and the shoulders against the wall, and the head up. And again, rolling down, start with the shoulders, then the middle ribs, then the lower ribs are peeling off, and then your waist peels off, and then your pelvis starts to roll down. So there's a lot of sequential movement. Go as low down as you feel comfortable, and then roll up until your hands are off the floor. 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 2, 3, and roll yourself up. Stacking yourself up and lifting. One more time like this. Shoulders, middle ribs, lower ribs, waist, top of the pelvis, all the way through the pelvis to the hips. Hinging down as low as you can, coming up halfway. Circle, 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 reverse. 2, 3, and roll yourselves up. Roll yourselves up and up. Bring yourselves a little bit further back now and bring yourselves into a Pilates V. So here we are, nice and long. We're going to do some fun variations with this position for a standing version of the hundreds. So please round, but only round till the shoulder blades are off the mat. That's it. Pull the stomach in and lengthen the spine towards the mat, and we'll do a few pumps here like we're doing the hundreds. The legs are pulled up, the hips are nice and narrow. Here we go. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2. Scoop the belly up. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch the arms down so you have a stretch in the back of the neck, and bring yourselves up. Take your feet further out. Firm the hips. So you want to start with the sensation right here. Really, it's like you're plugging the hips into the sockets, and then you're creating this nice length. Now, can you lift one leg up without anything changing? Bring it back down. See if you can. I'm having trouble. This is my weaker side. Lifting and coming back down. First side again. Lifting and down and lifting and down. Now we're going to lift the first leg again. Curl over just a little bit. Feel like you're really pulling it into your body, and in, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, into, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, into, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5, into, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the leg back. Get yourself centered. Firm those hips. Lift the other side up. I'm going to have to hold on to help. Curl a little bit, and here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the leg back. Come back up, and now turn your feet parallel, and we'll come down to almost parallel to your knees, but not quite. And 3 circles. Circle. Deepen your stomach towards the wall and come back up. Go down a little bit deeper. Circle. Circle. And slide yourselves back up. Go even deeper down. Circle. Circle. Slide yourselves back up and come to a standing position. We're now going to be lying down on the floor with our feet against the mat in a diagonal. So let me set up. And just want to be sure you can see. Let me adjust the camera a little tiny bit. Yes, perfect. So in this position, you want to place yourselves so your feet are about a 45-degree angle from the wall, into the wall. You're using it to flatten out your lumbar spine, and you're in a Pilates stance, and you're taking these femur bones and you're really pressing them in, keeping yourself nice and long. So we're in the same position that the hundreds brings us into when we're on the floor. Keeping the shoulders nice and wide. Take a deep breath in. We're doing the hundreds again in this position. So here's the shape. You're pulling up. The legs are pushing away from you. The femurs are anchoring into your hips. And here we go. Breathing in. 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower yourselves back down to the mat. Bring the knees into your chest and just give yourself a little hug, lengthening your back out. Now from here, get your feet against the wall and lengthen yourself further out. Now this is an amazing place if you push yourself out, that you can get a nice traction in your sacrum and tailbone to bring them under. Again, bring yourself into a Pilates V. Now I want you to think of taking your 2 thighs and anchoring them just in front of the pubic bone. So it affects the quads, it affects the glutes, but really you're looking to address the bones. That's the important part of what you're doing here. So everything's nicely locked. Take your arms to the ceiling and then to bring the arms over your head. And we'll start our roll up. Bring your arms to the ceiling. Peel yourselves up and stretch towards the wall. And then roll down and see if you can keep your heels on the wall. That's the hard part. Roll. Stretch your arms out. I lost my heels. I lost some height there. Bring your arms up. Curl. Lengthen those legs towards the wall. And then stretch as far forward as you can. So we're really opening up the tissue of the back and the backs of the legs, and roll down, articulating one bone at a time. Arms over your head. And again, curl, peel off the floor, stretch towards the wall, roll down, articulating your spine as you go, reaching those legs towards the wall. And one more time, rolling up, stretching as far as you can go, and rolling down, and reaching out. Very, very nice. Now we're going to do roll over, and we're going to start it in the same position you were in, when you had your shaping for the hundreds, which should be catching the pelvis and flattening it out. It's a wonderful way to use this wall to lengthen out that lumbar spine and get a sense of the legs being nice and long and traction. From here, the hands are by your side. Lift the legs up. Use your stomach and your hips and your hands to take the legs over and bring them towards the floor and push. Open your legs a bit, push, and then roll down through the spine. Bring your feet to the wall. If you have changed shape, see if you can get back. Again, up, all the way over, open, over, and roll through, and reach to the wall. Again, up, press over, over, and roll through, and reach to the wall. Now we're going to spread the legs up and over, and roll. It's a real nice way having that wall there every time to check if you've moved and changed shape because you've added the rolling. Roll, press, and roll. And over, last one, roll, press, press, and roll. And all the way over to the wall. Very nice. Now, coming down, you want to be with your heels flat and your back long if you can. And let's have the feet hip width apart for a single leg circle. So your back is long, your shoulders are down, lift your right leg up. Keep your left heel into the wall. So now the focus is the leg into the wall, and we'll do 5 circles. Circle 1, circle 2, don't let that foot leave the wall. 3, 4, 5, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lengthen. Bend the knee into your chest. Keep that foot on the wall. Keep your back nice and long. Put the foot back down. Lengthen nice and in. Lift your other leg up. And 5 circles. 1, 2. Keep the foot on the wall. 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the foot on the wall and then stretch the leg towards you. Bend the knee, pull it in. So if you're losing the wall, that means you're shortening somewhere else to make the leg you're stretching appear to get a good stretch. And we're trying to catch all those funny things with the wall. Arms over your head, roll up to a seated position. Roll up, stretch, and let's come right up close to the wall for rolling like a ball. So we're here. How close to the wall can you get with your feet up? So you're touching the wall. Find that place where you can be balanced and you're touching the wall. Take a breath in and breathe out, roll back. Come up and touch the wall. Roll back. Come up, touch the wall. Back, up, touch the wall. Are you touching the wall every time the same place? And touch. Back and touch. One more time. Back and touch. Very, very nice. Now, you want to again have your feet about a 45-degree angle and lengthen yourself out and use the wall. Because your legs are higher, you should be able to have your whole spine flat. It's creating that length. If you're one of those people that love to tuck, check with your hands that your pubic bone and hip bones are the same height to the ceiling. If your pubic bone is really high, you need to lengthen it down and get your back ribs down to keep your back flat. So Each of us has a different calibration. Bend your right knee in and curl your head and chest up. Stretch that other leg towards the wall. Switch and pull in. Stretch, pull in. Stretch, pull in. Stretch, pull in. Can you lift even more? Pull in. Stretch, pull in. Get the legs against the wall. Curl up even more. Make that center of your body work, and then come back down just for a minute. Curl up again so the shoulders are off the mat, but the tips of the shoulder blades all the way to the sacrum is on if you can. Bend the knees in. Give yourself a squeeze. Push the wall away. Circle in. Push the wall away. Circle in. Push the wall away. Circle in. Push. In. Push. And in. Drop your head back down for a minute. If you moved away or you want to readjust, get yourself back. I always like to start with the knees bent. And then I literally use the straightening of the legs to iron out my back. And then really find that nice feeling of a corset. Some people can take the legs lower. It just depends upon where your back is at. Curl up again. Tips of the shoulder blades. One leg comes towards you. Pull and pull. Bring the leg back. Other leg comes up. Pull and pull. And back. Pull, pull. This is such a wonderful way to keep the body as a constant and find and work on the flexibility of the legs without some kind of funny adaptation that the body does. One more time. Pull, pull, and pull, and pull. And from here, lower back down. Get a sense of what you've got. Curl your head and chest up. Make sure the front trunk is holding your body. Lift and back to the wall. 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 Lift, back to the wall. Lower yourselves back down. I'm going to adapt myself and come a little closer for the next one. So we're into crisscross. Make sure your back feels nicely ironed out. Curl your head and chest up. Shoulder blades are off. Right knee bends in. Back. Left knee bends in. Back. Right knee bends in. Back. Left knee bends in. Back. Right knee bends in. Back. Left knee bends in. And back. Lower yourselves back to the mat. Bend your knees in. And bring yourselves up to a seated position. And we're going to swivel around and get your back against the wall. And your feet a little bit wider or the width of your own mat. So you have this nice feeling of the wall to check. Your goal is to get the low ribs against the wall and your sacrum against the wall and your head in. And then any other planes that you can get to touch as well, good for you. Normally people sit up straight. You see my back left the wall. This is where you want to be. And then imagine a string pulling you up through the crown of your head. So take a deep breath in. And on the out breath, just pull the shoulders away from the wall. I pull the shoulders forward, but I'm pressing my stomach and my low ribs in. Roll to the middle so the shoulder blades are fully off. Low back is, the rib cage is really peeling off. And then come just to your waist. So your waist is still pushing into the wall. Everything else is stretching forward. See if you can really open up that upper back without the waist leaving. So you can curl even more down. Lift. Stack yourself back up. Up through the top of the head and roll nice and slow. At the same time, keep your low back pressing in. Keep it pressing in and open up your rib cage. See if you can lift the low back even more and then stack back up. And again, rounding down, allowing the tissue of the spine to open even further. Come back up. One more time, lifting and stretching and rounding and reaching and come back up. Very nice. Let's turn around to face the wall for our open-legged rocker. So you may want to hold behind the knees or hold the feet. See if you can find a spot where your legs are against the wall and your arms are holding. Let's see here. This is going to be interesting. Can you find your balance? Roll back, roll up and reach to the wall. And roll back, roll up, come to the wall. Roll back, roll up, reach to the wall. Use your stomach. Roll back, roll up, reach to the wall. Last one. Back and up, reach to the wall. Very good. Let's have us, we're going to do a variation of corkscrew. Do you see how I have my hands this way? So you want them against the wall, but the arms out. So if you've got tight shoulders, your hands can be higher, but they're going to be against the wall. It's like you're doing a handstand, but you're on the floor. So you're pressing into the wall with the heel of the hand, and then you come up. And the goal here is to keep the heel of the hand on the wall as you do your corkscrew. We're not going to go up high. We're keeping our bottom down. So slight Pilates V. So you rotate out and press the femurs into the sockets. Circle to the right and up. To the left and up. To the right and up. To the left and up. To the right and up and to the left and up, and then bend the knees and put your feet on the floor, and let's bring our hands down and open your feet hip width apart for bridging. So you want a nice flat back. Very simple. You're just going to roll the hips up and lift, kind of like what we did on the foam roller. Roll down. Roll up. Roll down. Roll up. Roll down. Just warming up this ability of the back to lift, strengthening the muscles. One more time like this. Down. Come a little bit further out, and again reach your arms. You're going to do the same thing, but now the knees and the feet are together. So the hips are firm. Lift your bottom, lower down, lift and down, lift and down, lift and down. Last one, lift and down. Very good. Come up to a seated position and turn around again. Get your feet against the wall for saw. So I have a narrow place here, so I'm going to work this way, but if you can have your arms to the side, you can have them to the side, whatever you want. So from here, I'm going to turn to the right foot and reach and reach and reach. Center. Left foot, reach. So you really want that sense of reaching forward with the hand. Center. Reach, 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 center. Reach, 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 center. Reach, 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 center. Reach, 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 center. Bring your legs together and let's come forward now onto your belly. So you're going to start on your belly facing the wall with your legs long, and you want to feel your front ribs and your hips in touch with the floor. So just a slight lift of the upper back, and press your hips down and take those thighs again. Think of narrowing them into the sockets. So there's a narrowing there that creates a locking mechanism. The hands are on the floor, and you just take your right leg and stretch, right arm extends, bring it back down. Left arm extends, bring it back down. Right arm extends, bring it back down. Left arm extends, bring it back down. Right arm extends, and down, and left arm, and down. Bring yourselves closer to the wall, and from here, again, narrow those hips, bring the heels and the knees closer together, and see if you can lengthen like you're pulling your whole chest towards the wall. You want to be this long diagonal from your pubic bone up through your nose, tracking forward. For single leg kicks, bend the right foot, kick, kick, and out. Left leg, kick, kick, and out. Right leg, kick, kick, and out. Kick, kick, and out. Kick, kick, and out. Kick, kick, and out. 2 more times. Kick, kick, and out. Kick, kick, and out. Bring yourselves even closer and stop. Come down so your head is actually touching the wall. I'm taking my glasses off. Turn your head to one side. For double leg kicks, press your elbows down. Keep your sacrum long and grounded, and kick 3 times. Kick, kick, and kick. Now, as you lift, think of your head coming to the wall. So you have to pull the hands away from the wall, but your head is going towards the wall. Come down, kick, 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 and head comes towards the wall. First side again, kick, 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 and head goes to the wall. Other side, kick, 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 and head goes to the wall. Last one, kick, 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 and head goes to the wall. Very good. Sit back towards your heels and just stretch out into a child's pose. Nice and long. Staying in your child's pose. You want to walk your hands to the right side of the mat. Then walk your hands to the left side of the mat. Come back, stretch out a little bit further, and come back up to an upright position. Come forward and bring yourselves up for chest expansion. So now, if you can, you want to be right close up to the wall with your hips and your knees. You may or may not be able to be all the way. If you can't, you just place yourself where it's going to work for you. So from here, take your little toes and press them into the mat. So your feet are active. They're not lazy. And again, think of taking this part of your hips and pressing them in towards each other. You're making your hips very firm and stable by grounding them into the sockets. String pulls the head as high up as you can. And then from here, pull the shoulders back. Keep your head against the wall, keep your chest against the wall, and pull the arms back. Pull, 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 pull. Bring the arms down. Feel the sacrum going down, the hips firm, the body lift up, the shoulders go back, and stretch the arms back as far as they'll go without losing this shape. So all these points stay in place. And back. And again, hips firm, sacrum long, chest long, shoulders back, head long. Pull, 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 pull. And back. Move a little bit away. I'm actually going to pad my knees now for this next one because we're doing thigh stretch. We want to be positioned in such a way that your hands touch, but your body is nice and straight. Just like a sense of orientation. So you want to start, notice again, there's a feeling, I know people often cue the inner thighs. I want you to think right here in the thickest part of the thigh that you're pressing it in to the hip socket, which is just above the pubic bone. So women get loose hips because we're genetically designed to have babies. This area can get weak. We can have hip dysplasia and all sorts of things. This is different from squeezing here. So if you can find this, it gives a compactness to the hip that's very, very important. So see if you can hold on to that. So here we are. You want that nice compactness there. Your arms are in front of you, so maybe you touch the wall, but that's really not a relevancy. And you're nice and lifted, just like you were a minute ago. And now from here, press your little toe into the mat and hinge back. Hinge, hinge, hinge. It's all thighs. And come back up. You should be going back and forward like a stick. So make sure your back is not doing the back movement, but your legs. And come back up. Keep those thighs in the sockets. They can kind of flop around in there. Really make them strong and stable and allow the quad to stretch. One more time. Press and lengthen. And come back up. Sit back and let's come on our hands and knees. We're kind of done with the wall now, so if you want to adjust your mat in any way back to kind of just a mat position, you will be on your hands and knees for the plank, so balance, control, front. So nice long arms, knees under the hips, knees and feet together. Before you start, see if you can find those compact hips again. This is will be a game changer once you really start to feel how to hold the legs there in the sockets. Nice and long, one leg back, hold, 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 bend, and bend. Reverse it, left leg, right leg, compact hips, strong stomach, strong shoulders, head not dropping down but long, bend, and bend. Again, right leg, left leg, hold, 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 left and right, and reverse it. Right leg, left leg, hold, 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 left and right. Sit back down, and our next one is side kicks. Let me adjust my camera. So lying at the back part of your mat, and we'll start with clams. So the heels are touching the back of the mat, your hips are touching the back of the mat. Let's have our head down. Now this side lifted. Notice what happened. This hip was higher. When I lift my waist just a little bit, my hip is stacked on top of my hip. It's almost like I'm standing straight. If it hurts your neck, you can have a little pillow. From here, lift and lower the knee. Now, think of that hip socket again. Can you feel it moving in the socket Instead of just, we usually focus on the glute muscle, but can you get a sense of it being stabilized into the socket as you do this? Lift and lower. Notice there's nothing moving in the pelvis. Lift and lower. So a lot of these things, these little funny cues, some people naturally do them correctly, and they're just taken for granted that these actions happen. But I'm a firm believer that each of us has weaknesses and strengths that are unique, and some areas we're oblivious of. And even though we are superficially doing a movement, we're missing something that's very important that can be a game changer for us. And I'm hoping this idea of bringing the bone into the socket nicely will be something for you to reflect on and possibly refine and discover, because it does make a difference. Now here we are. You stretch the legs out on their diagonal. See if you can get a sense. Remember, the socket is close to the pubic bone, higher and a little tiny bit more out. Just a little bit higher. That's where your hip socket is. So the whole leg starts there. So see if you can get a sense of that part being part of this movement. And I'm getting my Tinkerbell here. She's helping me. Good job, Tinky. I can't see the camera though because of your lovely butt. That's a girl. Lift. Lift. And lift. Now, are you still lifted here? Lift the leg. We're going to do the pendulum work. Forward, forward, back, back. Can you make the leg swing without anything moving in your body? Again, if you can get the sense of the hip in the socket doing this work, it's not important how big the movement is, but that you're getting the leg swing coming and originated from the right place. All right, now lift the leg a little bit, externally rotate it, and little circles. Is this still lifted? Reverse. Lower the leg down, and let's do the other side. So shifting over to the other leg, you'll be on your side, getting ready for the clams. So you'll be down, your feet and your bottom and your shoulders are all lined up with the back of the mat. You are lifting the waist so everything is even. And now here we go, lifting and lowering and making that leg work in the socket. So you'll go as high as you're able to go. Really feeling as best you can how it originates there, and all the very small muscles there are doing very important work, and then the bigger muscles just follow track. Then from here, God, Tinky, you're not helping that much. You take the legs out on a long diagonal and lift and lower the leg. So again, you want that leg nicely working in the socket. And you go as high as you can without compromising your own shape. Most of you can do a nice high lift. Now, leg turned out. I'm going to be holding this forward, forward, back, back, 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 and little circles, circling the leg around, reaching it out of the socket, but keeping it nicely compact and stabilized. Reverse. So we're working on that very subtle area. Bring the leg down, and if you can get back to the wall, that's awesome. I'm going to adjust my camera because we'll do the teasers. We're going to do single leg teasers with the foot on the wall, and there it is. on the wall with, so you start out and you find this 45-degree angle. Then take the foot and find it, and actually I'm going to adjust the leg on the wall a little bit higher because I like my knee and my foot to be the same connection. So, and the back is nicely ironed in. Now, keeping that position, roll yourselves up, roll yourselves down, roll yourselves up, roll yourselves down, roll yourselves up, roll yourselves down, change sides, lift, roll yourselves up, roll yourselves down, roll yourselves up, roll yourselves down, roll yourselves up, and roll yourselves down. And coming to a seated position, so we're only doing single leg ones today for seal to finish up. Hands in prayer, underneath the feet. Make sure you have mat behind you to roll on. We're going to clap at both ends, so clap 3 times. Roll back, clap, 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 up, clap, 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 back, clap, 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 up, clap, 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 back, clap, 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 up, clap, 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 and last one, back, clap, clap, clap. Come up to sitting, and thank you very much. Very good work.